Okay, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. I've had a little bit of a play around with this earlier on today. So I'm going to try and pull some data from a website and two different data sources. I'm going to join them together and we're going to sort of try and do some visuals with them. So this, if from what I've covered in my previous video, there's no sign-in or anything or payment or anything. This is all free. You can do this. There's nothing special about what I'm doing. I know again a lot of videos you'll see they have, you have to have a paid account and stuff like that. You can see I'm not signed in. You can download Power BI from the Power BI download desktop. So you can download it from here. And I just click on this, and that's what I've started off with. So that's what you can see here. So I've opened it up. There's some windows that appear. I've just closed them. I'm not interested in any of that for now. And I'm going to click on Get Data. So Get Data is going to allow us to connect to any sort of data source, lots of different data sources. So you can see here, these are all the ones that we've got. But we're interested today in web. So I've been playing around with this. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's something we can work with. So we're going to click on web, and we're basically, because the Premier League's got it's got some information that we can make use of. So we're gonna build some visuals on the back of that. Now another thing I'm going to be doing is it's called transforming the data, which basically means it's going to be cleaned up a little bit. The format that it comes from the Premier League site isn't all that usable as it is, but we can tidy that up a little bit, and we can make it a bit easier to sort of play around with and connect to other data sources with. Now I'm not going to go through it. It's going to bring up a list of tables and things here. Now there's again nothing special in what I've done. I've literally just clicked down them, had a look across as to what that information looks like. Table 7 seemed to be the one that was the sort of most usable, and as you can see I clicked on transform data. Now if you've made a mistake and you try and import it directly, you can still go into transform data. It's done up here, so it just brings this window up, and this is where we're going to clean up this data set. So we're going to first of all rename this, and this is going to be Premier League. We're not interested in column 1. This is league position. We're not interested in this because this is basically the name and the abbreviation. So we're going to remove that column. Club name. Now I'm no expert in Power BI. It's something, there's some really good courses that are on the Microsoft. I don't remember what I'll put the. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So there's some really good courses. If you sign in, you can get into the training section. I've not paid for any of this. This is free, but there's some bits that I've been learning which have been really handy. Again, if there's anything that I'm getting wrong, I'm really sorry. I'm sort of trying to demonstrate the stuff that I've picked up. So this is games played. One. And I'm going to have to sort of do a little bit of chopping and changing between tabs, just because the columns haven't sort of come through with any sort of names. So day 7 is points, I think. Yep. Now if you've got your own data source that you want to work to, so you've probably got things like Excel or stuff like that, you can connect to whatever you want. I'm just doing this because I'd not connected to a website before to pull data from. I just thought I'd give it a go. Games drawn. This is 1214. That's games lost. Uh, 33 goals 4. And I'm not going to get too much into sort of changing data types and stuff like that in this. It's more about getting some data in, connecting to another data source, seeing what we can do with it. So what I'm doing here, I'm holding Control and clicking on the column. You need to click on the column. If you click somewhere else, as I've just done then, it sort of takes away that selection. So we're just trying to highlight the columns that we're not interested in, and we're going to get rid of them. There we go. Now that looks right. Now, one thing I noticed earlier on when I was doing this is it's replicated the it's replicated over. I'm assuming this is from where it said at the beginning where it's like previous position. So this is probably what it was. I'm not sure if I saw a date. There's probably one of those date columns that show what it was. So we've got 41 columns to remove. So we're going to remove rows, remove bottom rows, and then it's going to ask us how many rows we want to get rid of. So we're going to look at 41. I'm yet to do this right first time. Yeah, I'm still not going to do it right first time. So we're going to remove another row. So remove bottom row. One. So we've got Wolves is bottom of the Premier League. So we'll just go down and make sure, and it's position 20. So I'm pretty happy with that data set now. And I'm going to close and apply. And what that's going to do is the same as before when we've imported data. It's going to show up in this field section, and it's going to allow us to drag in some visuals and link to that data set, or represent that data set visually. So I'm going to chuck a couple of visuals on there just to sort of show you what it's looking like right now. Here we go. Load. There we go. So we've got the Premier League, and I'm just going to drag in this this funnel chart and click on it, and it'll appear on the left hand side. So we're going to put in the club name. We'll do points because it's nice and straightforward, and then you can see this is the current state of play for the Premier League. So Arsenal are at the top with 37 points. Man City got 32. I'm not into football. It's just that I thought this would be a good way of a good sort of data set to work off. So we've got that. We've got games played, won, lost, drawn, goal difference, all that sort of stuff. Let's see if we can drag in some other information. So another data set I think I can work with is this stats. Now I did try and get the things like the goals. So just filter this. So this list. So I clicked on view this list, but there's filters that apply to each page, which it wasn't taken into account. So it was basically using the all-time filters, even though those filters apply to the page. So this data set seemed to work okay for me. So this is all we've done here is we've clicked on the URL and we've copied the URL. And we're going to go into get data. We're going to pull in this new data source. And it's the same sort of process as before, but there's some extra bits of data we can pull into this one, which I thought, when I looked, it looked quite useful. It might be able to build some quite interesting sort of data sets or dashboards, or sorry, reports from it. So here we go. So we click on Other again, we click on Web, and we click on Connect. It's going to ask for our URL, so we're going to paste that in. And I'll show you how I sort of validated the data from that was coming back, because like I say, the first time I did this, and I've been doing this for sort of probably about an hour or so now, just sort of picking through, trying to pull data from different places. So you can see here it's got all sorts of data all in one. So 40. So looking at this, it's got Man City 40, 33, 31. So that looks like it is this 40, 33, 31. Then we've got passes. Then we've got clean sheets. So I'm assuming Arsenal then appears in that data set. Clean sheets. Here we go. So we've got this split here. This is what have we got here? Oh, here we go. Is this goals? Yeah, goals. Yeah, so we've got goals, assists. So we don't have this split out, which is, I believe. You see? No. I need to sort of interrogate this data a bit more because these are some big numbers, and I don't believe that that's right. So we'll just pick our way down the list. Column, don't know what that's representing. Harry Kane 12. What's Harry Kane got 12 of? No idea. Yeah, so some of this data is going to need a bit of cleaning up, but we'll just pick, we'll cherry pick out of it bits that we're interested in. Because it could be that it's pulling from previous seasons. It could be that it's pulling, it's sort of grouped in the data sets. But hey ho, we'll work with it. So let's pull this out and we get some of the club stats here. What we're going to do, need to sort of do a bit of transforming the data in that. Let's pick on this. So they look like goals. I'm sure I saw one that said a bit more about what it was. No, let's pick on these two. So like I said, we're going to have to do some transforming of data, and this is going to be quite manual, and this isn't going to be that pretty just because the way that data's come out. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to get, what are we interested in? From a club point of view, goals, not interested in goals because we have our, we have that from the league table, the league table. So we're going to get rid of this first 10. So remove rows, remove top rows. In fact, let's remove, yeah. So we want to keep Man City at the top. There we go. Right, so we've now got, so we're going to rename this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically duplicate and rename. So total passes, because that's what this is giving us. So 9550 is the passes, 8454 is for Liverpool. So there we go. So we're going to duplicate this now. And then we're going to get rid of some of the other information out of here. So we're going to remove the top 10 again. So remove rows, remove from top 10. So we've got clean sheets, and it looks like Arsenal have the most clean sheets. So we're going to rename this to clean sheets. And because I've got that copy, I can clean this up again now. So I'm going to get rid of 20. Remove rows, remove bottom rows. So West Ham should be our bottom. There we go. Nope, we want to get rid of that as well. Oh no, we do. We're just not interested in these columns. Sorry, I should have tidied this up. Position. Rename club name. Is that what? So for consistency as well, yeah, club name. I want to try and keep the names sort of in line. Do I want the stadium? No, we're not interested in stadium. Get rid of that. Rename this. Yeah, total passes. We're going to get rid of these other columns because we're not interested in them. So move columns. Move columns. There we go. So I don't think we need the position. I'm going to get rid of that as well. There we go. So we've got club name and total passes. So table 2 we haven't got to yet. So clean sheets. So we're going to duplicate this just so we can tidy up this clean sheets. So we want to get rid of these other columns again. So click on those, remove columns. I'm going to get rid of this. Move. And we go as far as so we're going to remove bottom rows 10. It's going to need me to do one more. It's not. So Everton should be our bottom of our clean sheets. Clean sheet Everton 4. Yes, lovely. Right, so we're not interested in this one again. Rename this. That. Club name. Okay, so our last one that we're going to do from a club point of view is that crosses? Ah, crosses are boring. Let's get rid of crosses. So we've got Premier League total passes, clean sheets, and then we've got some player information here. So this first section is going to be goals scored. So we're not interested in this. In fact, no, this is useful. Is it useful? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. No, it's not useful. So we're going to remove that column as well. This is player name. So we're going to be a bit more efficient this time. Player name. This is our club name. So when we come to join on the different data sets, we'll be able to join on club name because club name is the same in Premier League. And he says, is it Man City? No, it's not. It's Manchester City. Great. Nice one, Premier League. Right, so first of all, let's get our top 10. So I'm going to rename this. And player goals. I'm just going to do 2 of these just to sort of keep it nice and short video because I'm already up to about 20 minutes. So we've got Leonardo Trossard. So out of touch with football. So let's just remove, let's duplicate first, duplicate, and let's drop a load of rows. Remove rows, remove bottom rows, let's go with 60 because there's so many. So this is our boy that we want to keep, so we're going to remove another 10. And I think I'm going to be 1 off again. No, I'm all good. So here's our top 10. We need a rename. Now, there's a lot of value in going through and actually sort of cleaning up the data and everything like that. Let's get assists in as well. So assists would be next. So we're going to remove the top rows. So our top, yeah. So we're going to remove the bottom 40. Remove bottom rows. We want to remove another 20. Remove rows, remove bottom rows. There we go. So Ivan is bottom of assists, which he is. So let's rename this, and then I'll try and make this a bit more interesting. Apologies for those that this is getting a bit boring. Number of assists, club name. Rename that. So the problem we've got now is there is a we're not able to join because Man City yeah, we need another column really for our teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this as two different data sets. So here, because we've got these I'm going to have to go in and edit them. I think it's only the Man Cities. It's not letting me edit the data. Come on. Replace values. Here we go. Replace with Manchester City. There we go. So let's do that again. Replace values. Spurs. Place. Man United, Everton, Man City, everything else looks right. What's Leicester down as? Leicester City. City, yeah. Now, this will become apparent in a minute. When we try and join the data together. That's going to be Newcastle United. You Leeds United? I'm guessing you're Leeds United. Yeah. Let's just get that was up here. Brentford, are you anything other than Brentford? No. West Ham United. Bloody hell, this is going to be hard to work this. So this it's probably worth sort of touching on the quality of data. So it doesn't, because this data isn't it's sort of, it's on a website, it's not really I'm sure where the data originally exists it is much better sort of looked after and better sort of put together. So it would make, these will all have IDs. It makes it much easier to sort of do this sort of thing. But obviously I'm manually pulling data from a website. So I'm not going to go too much into this. Man City, Brentford, Fulham, Leeds, Liverpool, Man City, Leicester. That's alright. Let me sort some of these out. Replace. City. Sorry about this. If you are watching this, I'm trying to be as quick as I can with it. Clean sheets, you place. Chelsea, they look about right. And again, a proper database structure, you'd have one table of clubs, and then you'd have like what we would call a foreign key from the table. So on this table, you'd have, this would be a foreign key onto the clubs table. If you're into databases and stuff, then you probably know all about this, but it just makes it much easier to make sure all the data that should be connected is connected, and it all works. So we're now happy with all of that, or as happy as I'm going to get. I'm not going to go spend too much longer on this because I'm conscious of how long this is taking. This is going to load, and it's going to give us all our information. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to join onto that information, and we're going to pull some other visuals in. And hopefully you'll see it all sort of knitted together, and we can pull some sort of like, we can click on filters and we can pull up some specific information based on the filters. So once this is finished, what we need to do is we need to connect the data sets together. So we click on this little model view on the left hand side, and this is going to bring up all our data. And it's perfect. So it's already detected some relationships. So club name and club name. So here it's not picked up a relationship between club name and clean sheets. It has done for player goals. It hasn't done for total passes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the data for those, because it may be that I've cocked something up. We want to transform the data again. So we are missing, just move that out of the way, relationships between passes and clean sheets. So if I click on total passes, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, Brighton's missing. So it may be, there we go, copy that. It may be that it's picked that up, that doesn't match, so that's why that relationship isn't there. Replace it with that. So that should sort that one out, hopefully, and clean sheets. Now you can manually do this, but it's good that it's flagged it, because it'll mean that we're more likely to get sort of good joins and good connections. So where not seen anything in player assists that sorry, total passes, clean sheets, total passes, anything in here that's not looking right. Arsenal, Brighton, that looks all fine. Clean sheets. I think all. I think the others all look fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and manually make those connections. So how we do that, this is just going to take a second to just reload the changes. So what we can do, we can click on club name, we can drag it over and join it onto the table that we think it should join on. So then it'll ask us about the type of join. No, it's not. Okay, fair enough. We're going to drag onto clean sheets as well, and that's made that join. So fabulous. So everything looks fine now. I'm going to click on our report. So I'm going to just throw a filter on there, sorry, a slicer, and this is going to make it a little bit easier to see that everything is working, because we want to make sure that everything works before we get too sort of tied up in pulling specific data. So here we've got all our club names. I'm going to change that to a drop down list to sort of reduce the visual size, and again you can lay this out however you want. You can do much better sort of visualizations than this. So let's pull a donut chart in, move that up and out of the way. Now let's go with player assists. So we want player name, and I need to fix that because that's spelt terribly, and number of assists. So if we've got our connection done right between clubs, when we click on, say, Aston Villa, it should filter. It does. It should filter that data set. So we pick Man City. There's bound to be some assists for Man City, and there are. So I'm not going to correct that typo. We can do that here though, I think. There we go. So we've now got assists. We can do let's do a bar chart for what should we do? Bar chart for total passes. No, let's chuck that there. Let's do club name across the bottom. And again, when we apply a filter, it should filter our data set, which it does. So you can see here how everything's sort of tied in. Let's chuck something else in. So let's chuck one of these tree maps. Move that over here. Just resize it just to make sure it fits. Let's do clean sheets on this one. No, number of clean sheets. And club name. Oh, interesting. So it's not pulled through, or have I just picked the wrong visual? I think I picked the wrong visual. Yeah. Okay, I need to check on that because it should have pulled some data through. So let's get rid of that for now. So we've got assists, we've got passes. Let's chuck some goals in there. Value, goal scored, player name. And again, any of these, so if we click on one of the elements, it should be filtering. So let me just click on this because this might be another one that isn't. Oh, there we go. Okay, so obviously I'm not as good at this as I think I am because I expected this to affect these other data sets, which it hasn't. There we go, that one does. Ah, okay, I suppose it's the parent-child sort of relationship. And right, there we go. So I'm going to stop there because I'm conscious this is really long. This isn't the slickest video that I've done, but again, you should get an idea as to how I've pulled data from a website, how I've connected some of the data sets together. Again, if you're a database guy, you're not going to like that I've connected them on name, but it needs must. And also how that's how we can build some dashboards from the information that we've pulled across.